this trainer reached legend in Retro Cup using this team. So let's see what we have here, because Altaria is leading effectively a team with Frostlass and Dunsparce at the back. I think that this team has a lot of coverage. I think that the synergy is already there. You can see as to how both Altaria and Frostlass can protect Dunsparce from those fighters, and of course you have a lot of coverage against flyers in total against the meta, which is pretty neat if you ask me. You got Rock Slide, you got Avalanche, and of course the bulk of Altaria that can outbulk pretty much anything else in the meta. Even against Leaky Tank, Altaria can be a very nice option. So right here we're gonna go down, or can we survive? Oh my goodness, we can survive. So yeah, Drillra now will most likely do half of the remaining HP that they already have, and we can go for one more, but I think they can barely survive. Yeah, here it is, trainers. Can we farm down with the rollouts? No, we cannot, but instead we can destroy them down with those Dragon Breaths. I like this play by PokeSlow here, because he can absolutely manipulate this battle, and now we can reach to the Moonblast against this Lantern. They are gonna block, but right after, before we feint to their charge attack, we're gonna reach to a potential Sky attack for cheap damage, and at this point Surf is gonna be their next move. So Frostlass up against Lantern. I believe that if we can block here the Thunderbolt, we can stand the higher ground, but we're gonna goal it just a Surf, and now the Avalanche to finish off the remaining HP of the Lantern. What lies at the back, trainers? It is gonna be the return of the Deoxys, so now all we have to do is to reach to those double Shadow Balls and absolutely break them to no HP. Instead, we're gonna get to the Avalanche because they're getting super low on HP, so no reason to get to the Shadow Ball, and because they top left this battle, PokeSlow is gonna get this amazing victory. Into the next one now, and we're facing a Cresselia up on the lead. So Cresselia is normally kind of a bad lead for our Altaria because of Moonblast, but we can always tank one, while the second has to be blocked if we want to have the upper hand. So here comes the first one. We're already almost at the red, and at this point they're gonna switch out to their Dubwool. So Dubwool is one of those Pokemons that can get pretty troublesome for a lot of teams, especially with payback for those ghost types or wild charge for the flyers, which is pretty crazy. But overall, Body Slam is gonna be his main way to go, and of course Dubwool here will stand the higher ground because of Double Kick being super effective against our normal typing. However, after the first Sky attack, we can easily manipulate this battle and still finish them off with that Drill Run. So down goes Dubwool eventually, and Cresselia returns into the battle. Dunsparce has already done its job, and down we go now in return to the Grass Knot, but at the back they have a Dunsparce of their own. What a surprise, what a turn of events. And now we have to go ahead and pressure with the Avalanche. So the core breaker of this team might be a rock type, and a rock type like Dunsparce, which is a pseudo rock type to be honest, might be a problem for sure. However, those Avalanches are still gonna do a lot of work up against the Dunsparce. So they have to start blocking if they want to be successful, and having the upper hand here with the shields might be just what we need. Of course, they can always catch on their Cresselia if they want to, so let's see what this trainer wants to do. And here is the Cresselia returning. Pretty nice energy management by PokeSlow right on the CMP to finish off Cresselia and do one more Avalanche for the Dunsparce. Crazy battle here happening on your screens, and while we had no shields at all, we're still gonna go to town with that final Avalanche. Into the next one now, and we're having a flyer up on the lead on the face of Noctowl. You know what, this is looking pretty promising. I like how we can play around the flyers, because as we have already said, well, this team can handle the flyers pretty easily. So here comes the Sky attack, gonna do some decent amount of damage, and we can definitely pressure for another one. However, we want to catch on the Dunsparce, and it is gonna be the Shadow Ball. Crazy catch by PokeSlow on Dunsparce, and the Shadow Ball, are you kidding me, resisted by a lot, and all that energy is gone, while Altaria has the energy kept up and banked up for the end game. So at this point we have the Dunsparce on the mirror. Seems like we can win the CMP here, so that can always work towards our advantage, because not only they cannot finish us here, but they are also kinda obliged in using the remaining energy points right up next. So we're just gonna overfarm a little bit more, because we can Rock Slide this time to finish them off, and now Leaky Tank at the back back. So they are not looking that great, the opponent I mean, because PokeSlow here with Frostlass might take super effective damage from those leaks, but of course he has avalanches which can threat the leaky tank by a lot. It is gonna be the power whip, big shield here by PokeSlow, and now we can keep going with those avalanches while we still have at least a sky attack I believe ready to go on our Altaria. So gonna undercharge here as the opponent decides to catch, there's still gonna be enough to finish it off, which is crazy, and at this point we're just gonna get body slammed by this leaky tank. Of course we can still reach to our Moonblast for big damage on the leaky, and I think that the outcome is already settled because we have Dunsparce, and even with a little amount of HP left, I think by resisting a lot those leaks we can still reach safely to a rock slide and finish them off with style. PokeSlow emerging victorious here, and now let's move forward into the next battle up against the Deoxys up on the lead. So if they have rock slide, this can turn towards their side, so you can see as to how Deoxys can always be a call breaker for this team if it has rock slide, but this trainer decides to go for the early move. This can be nothing else than a psycho boost, so we're just gonna take this move and then see how it goes. So with rock slide not being an option for the Deoxys, perhaps they have no other anti-team counter for us, so let's see what we got here, since Body Slam can easily be taken by our Dunsparce, and PokeSlow will answer back with some heavy hitting drill runs at this point. Body Slam once again, we can resist by a lot those leaks, and now they return into the battle with the Deoxys. That is crazy. Gonna reach first to the drill run, now we can switch out to our Altaria, and now Sky Attack will most likely grab the first shield in play. So at this point what we want to do I believe is to get fainted by the next move, whatever they throw. Now their energy is dry and we can definitely go in with a Frostlass. By blocking once we can guarantee the farm down, and of course whatever remains at the back might be super weak to our Frostlass, especially when we have energy. It is gonna be the Noctowl as they're trying to catch a move here. This is not gonna happen, just gonna overfarm a little bit more, and before they throw their energy we're just gonna throw the first avalanche, and right after, as you can see, all we need to do here is to charge up to 2 of those avalanches, go back to back because they have the shield, and that is gonna be a great game for our team, and our Frostlass emerging victorious over here, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, a legend trainer doing legend things here against a Medicham on the next one. So Altaria might be in deep trouble, but still I believe that we can tank easily one Ice Punch. This is a very often used matchup on Great League, Open Great League, so I feel like we can definitely tank one Ice Punch and still keep pressuring for the next shield scenario with those Sky Attacks. Anyways, on the switch we're met up with a Leaky Tank, and I think that Dunsparce once again might have the upper hand over here. So many leaky tanks coming up against our Dunsparce, and to be honest I really like our odds because we resist the leaks, we can still answer back at them with some heavy hitting drill runs, and of course with that Pokemon out of the way perhaps they have no other severe counter to our Frostlass, but whenever I see a fighter up in front I always figure that they might have something like a double counter to a ghost type Pokemon at the back, so we can always expect something like, I don't know, dark types are not in play, but perhaps something like a Trevenant, something like an Altaria, something like, I don't know, whatever. But anyways, they happen to have a Frostlass here, and this means that we can have the upper hand since now we have the shield advantage, and our own Frostlass can finally emerge into battle, and at this point by blocking we can guarantee the knockout not only on the Frostlass but also on the Medicham, trying to catch a move on the Dunsparce, but they also try to do the same thing, so they end up finishing off our normal type Pokemon with a simple counter, one Shadow Ball to finish them off, and I believe here that we can go ahead, shield the move, and right after we can reach easily to the Avalanche. Oh my goodness, that was a CMP, that was scary, and still bring them to no HP. It's me Whittle time, and if you're living under a rock for the last year or so, well, this trainer is one of the 2 champions of Play Pokemon's championship, so let's see what we have here. Exciting stuff is gonna happen on this battle, I'm pretty sure about about it, especially after that very bad lead against the Dugong. So anyways, Frostlass against the world, and of course PokeSlow will have to pressure a lot here after he sacrifices a shield. Yeah, so here comes now the Shadow Ball. I believe that the Lantern will shield at this point, and all we have to do is to block here and try to pressure for that second shield scenario, because we might have a chance to flip around that very bad lead. However, we get a little bit too greedy here, so down we go while we sacrifice a shield for nothing as it seems, and Dugong now will come into the battle. So Sky Attack will do its best, I think, against this Ice type Pokemon, but still they're gonna bring us to the debuffing section with that Icy Wind. At the back there is gonna be the Altaria, so all of a sudden we might actually have a chance here. Will this Rock Slide do about half? Not even close. Wow. So yeah, we're not looking that great. Rock Slide number 2 will put them at a critical condition, but still they can have the upper hand if they want to. So here comes now the Sky Attack, which is gonna be more than enough to finish us off, and now our Altaria will also get hit by another move. Wow, just wow. And since they have the shield, Dugong here is just gonna go to town with the farm down. Crazy battle against Weedle. We might have a chance, but yeah, overall well played to both trainers over here. And let's see what we have for the final one trainer, since we're facing a Jellicent up on the lead. So Jellicent without Ice Beam right now is not a big threat to Altaria, but definitely a playable one for the bulky dragon. And as soon as we reach to that Moonblast, we're seeing the switch out to that Dunsparce to absorb the damage from the Shadow Ball. Crazy cuts here by PokeSlow, and I believe that was well calculated. So we're gonna bait out there this Medicham, which is kinda weird, but still we can force them in using the remaining energy, otherwise they're gonna get severely low. And since they still do not know that we have a Pokemon like Frostlass at the back, they might think that they have a chance. As soon as they see the Frostlass though here, they are kinda obliged in letting that Medicham go down. At the back they have an Abomasnow now, which is another tricky Pokemon for our team, since our Dunsparce is out of the way, and all we have to do is to pressure for the amazing double avalanche that we have. Two shields are out of the way, trying to catch the energy ball on the Altaria, but this is not gonna work at all. If we could catch an energy ball on the Altaria, that could work super good for us. Anyways, gonna reach now to the avalanche to finish off Jellicent as they're trying to catch a move, and they happen to do so. And now we can reach to the Sky Attack before they farm us down. PokeSlow for the win to end this video. Let's go trainers, and that is gonna be a fantastic way to end this video. So be sure to leave a like before you go, and of course consider subscribing to my channel if you are new to my content. With that said, I have 2 videos for you to check out, so feel free to do so, and I will see you all into the next one.